In this part of the orientation, we are going to talk about the syllabus. I just want to point a few things out. Here's our text. And my preferred method of contact is email. That's by far the fastest way to get in touch with me. I generally answer email all day long, sometimes into the evening and weekend, but you shouldn't expect that I'm going to answer email in the evenings and weekends. I will get back to you within 24 hours during the week of you sending an email. If you have not heard from me within 24 hours, I have somehow misplaced your email or I've just lost track of it. So please email me again. If you haven't heard from me in 24 hours, really email me again, because I really do intend to get back to you within that window of time. My office is on the ground floor of the college. Feel free to stop by and visit me. It's best if you let me know you're coming first so I can make sure that I am there. Our online classroom is in Angel, which you obviously already know if you're listening to this. You can also get me through instant messaging, and here's all the various ways you can instant message me. Telephone also works. I do confess the phone is really the last thing I ever check. So if you want to get in touch with me quick, the telephone is not the way to do it. Just send me an email or instant message me. Our course description and outcomes are standard for this class, so be sure to read those carefully. I just want to point out some of the things that are a little bit different. Note that I expect that you're present, doing the reading, cooperating, really working in this class. It's a group effort, and I gotta work, you gotta work, everybody's gotta work in order for this to happen. And you can have some expectations of me that the class is organized, that the work is challenging, that I get back to you in a fair amount of time with your grading, and that I grade fairly, and that you know how you're being evaluated. We've already talked about our weekly activities, the discussion, the quizzes, the IRAC essays. I don't think I've mentioned our service learning project, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that later in the quarter. That's going to be assigned in week 3, but the service learning project will help you take what you're learning about the law and get it out to the community. Um, and the way we do service learning projects is probably not the way that you're used to doing it in classes. You don't have to go and do any volunteer work anywhere. It's a project that is fairly flexible with the time that you'll be putting into it. So again, we'll be talking about that later on in the quarter. Let's talk quickly about the grading. I do try to get your work back to you within a week of the assignment due date. Your IRAC essays are going to be worth 30% of your grade, another 30 for your weekly discussions. And I post up rubrics for each of these so you can see how that 30% is being broken down, exactly how you're being evaluated on all of your grading. You've got the quizzes, and those are worth 20% of your grade. Another 20, that's not all adding up right. I'll fix that, sorry. And you've got your service learning project. We'll also be doing some weekly surveys. Just, I want to get a feeling for how you're learning in the class. Is it working? Is it not working? And make some fixes as we're going along instead of you getting to the end and saying, wow, that class just didn't work for me and I didn't learn anything. So I want to, if things aren't working, I want to know sooner rather than later so we can get that fixed. And of course, right now you are engaged in the orientation, and you will get 3% of your grade from the activities that you're doing during the first 2 days of the class. There's a concern about the flu this quarter, and so since we're an online class, if the college has to close, we're just going to keep on keeping on, but I will give everybody an extra late pass if that's the case, and I'll talk a little bit more about the late passes in a minute. Make sure that your student contact information is always up to date. Keeping your information updated is the only way that I can make sure I can keep in touch with you. Be sure to update your information with the college, and when you do that, it gets updated automatically in Angel several times a day. So if you get a new email address, be sure to update it with the college. And I'll continue this in the next part for the syllabus.